It's a retelling of Prison School. Out of the 1,000 girls attending Hakamitsu Academy, 5 best friends Kiyoshi Fujino, Takahito Gakuto Morikuzu, Shingo Wakamoto, Juji Jonizu, and Reiji Andre Andu are the only boys in the school. Kiyoshi meets Chio Korihara, an avid sumo fan, and becomes the first of the 5 to have talked to a girl. They decide to go to a sumo tournament. Later, Kiyoshi's friends formulate a plan to record video of the girls' baths. When Kiyoshi drops his phone inside the bathroom, he sneaks in to retrieve it. Chio discovers him but mistakes him for her friend Mayumi. However, the underground student council (USC) catches Kiyoshi's friends, and ultimately Kiyoshi is also caught by their president, Mari Korihara. As punishment, the 5 are sentenced to 1 month in the school's prison, where Kiyoshi becomes awestruck at the guys' masochistic outlooks after the constant abuse by the vice president Nico Shiraki. Shortly after, Nico enlists the help of Hana Midorikawa, the USC secretary, to oversee the boys. After Kiyoshi tends to a baby crow, he meets Chio and promises he will meet her at the sumo match. As Hana attempts to urinate beneath him, however, a crow knocks him off the tree branch and he witnesses Hana urinating, much to her embarrassment. Miko and the others rush to the scene of a crying Hana, and the boys are ordered back to the prison. As Mari and her father, the school's chairman, have a discussion about the prisoners, Mari tells the boys that they have up to 3 hours of free time on the weekends, including furloughs, inspiring Kiyoshi and the others to become model prisoners. After Kiyoshi formulates a plan to break out by breaking a hole behind a refuse shed, Gakuto starts exhibiting strange behavior, who catches on to Kiyoshi's breakout plan and offers him assistance in return for 3 Kingdoms figurines Guan Yu and Red Hair, available only once every 4 years. The next day, Gakuto and Kiyoshi fake a fight to have Hana kick the shed down and cover up the hole. Since an incident, Hana left from being an overseer, leaving Nico to check up on the boys. As the escape hole grows bigger, Gakuto asks that Kiyoshi does a test run of the escape route. On his way back, he witnesses the chairman burying nude pictures. Shingo starts feeling left out by Kiyoshi and Gakuto, seeing them talk frequently. In preparation for a track meet, Kiyoshi, Gakuto, and Shingo are placed on belongings watch duty, but Shingo transfers with Andre and Joe to miscellaneous jobs after witnessing Kiyoshi and Gakuto taking a shower together, thus putting Shingo out of the way. Kiyoshi notices a drainage pipe that leads from the bathroom to near the escape hole. A test run results in Nico stepping on Kiyoshi's butt and causing it to bleed, which Shingo mistakenly claims is a case of hemorrhoids. Later, during IT class, Gakuto plans on using his audio player to play fake defecation noises when Kiyoshi is using the bathroom. However, when no audio clips pop up, he decides to make his own by defecating himself. Despite their efforts, they find out the hole had been patched up, not realizing the chairman did it while reburying his photos. When Kiyoshi devises another plan to sneak out by cross-dressing, Gakuto aids him once more, as he intentionally strips down Mari's skirt. After Gakuto strips Mari's skirt down, he goes to the USC's office, where Miko shaves his hair as a reprimand for his actions. However, with his hair collected inside a bag, he reveals the real intention of shaving his head was to have Kiyoshi use it as a makeshift wig for sneaking out of prison. Before the breakout, Kiyoshi heads out to the school's laundry room to acquire a uniform after Gakuto manages to distract the laundryman. On the day of the track meet, he places speakers with the poop audio inside the bathroom and sneaks out through the drainage pipe. After narrowly escaping Miko and Mari, Kiyoshi's sumo date is cut short when Chio found Gakuto's hair and the uniform, revealed to be her own, inside his bag. Once Kiyoshi realizes this, he leaves as well. Meanwhile, at school, as Miko becomes fed up with his prolonged bathroom trip, she decides to confront Kiyoshi personally. With the poop speakers not working, Gakuto can only watch nervously as Miko kicks down the bathroom stall door. When Miko kicks down the stall, she finds Kiyoshi weeping on the toilet, much to Gakuto's relief and delight, as Kiyoshi managed to obtain his figurines. As they leave the bathroom, however, Mari appears and Miko examines Kiyoshi's bag to find Gakuto's hair and Chio's uniform. When Mari's suspicions of a breakout are confirmed, Kiyoshi is thrown in solitary confinement. Kiyoshi claims he acted alone, while his friends are punished with a 1-month extension of their sentence, and he is sentenced to expulsion. Although Miko says they do not have the authorization to carry out that punishment, Mari entices Kiyoshi to write his withdrawal request form. However, Chio appears and signs a withdrawal form, claiming that if Mari were to expel Kiyoshi, that she would also expel herself as well. Then, Kiyoshi refuses to sign the form and returns to the prison, where Shingo, Joe, and Andre start distancing themselves from him. Meanwhile, Miko searches the prison for information to use against them to place 3 breakouts on the boys and expel them, which is put into Mari's plans for Danshur Taigaku operation. Hana regroups with Mari and Miko to put DTO into effect and promises to Kiyoshi to enact her revenge on him. Shingo becomes an informant to the USC in exchange for above-average prison food. After Andre knocks down Joe's ant farm by accident, which results in Joe getting aggressive towards him, Shingo relays this information to Miko. During lunch break, Shingo lures Joe away from watching his ants, where one of Mari's crows appear to smashing his ants. As Joe realizes this, he attempts to stab Mari with a tree branch when Kiyoshi pushes him aside before impaling himself in the butt. While Joe is thrown in solitary confinement, Kiyoshi goes to the nurse's office with Hana. Hana hands him a pail to urinate inside, but after refusing to, she decides to do it on him instead. However, Chio arrives inside, so Hana and Kiyoshi hide under the bed, and Hana faints. Later, Joe is released, and Hana seems to have no recollection of the events that went on in the infirmary, although Kiyoshi has no idea of her not knowing. After work break, where Kiyoshi and Joe made amends, Kiyoshi talked about Shingo and Miko's conversation. Meanwhile, in the corrections office, Miko tells Shingo that she will allow him free time outside of school. Shingo hangs out at a local arcade and meets Anzu, another student from Hakamitsu. Returning to the prison, Shingo notices a tiny sword in the bathroom and gives it to Miko. Unbeknownst to both them, however, Gakuto is searching inside the bathroom for it, as the sword is a part of the Guanyu figurine. Later, Miko discovers Gakuto's figurines in the bathroom. While Shingo has another outing at the arcade and meets Anzu again at the prison, Miko reveals she is in possession of Gakuto's figurines and gives Gakuto a choice to confess to aiding Kiyoshi's escape and have everyone's sentences extended again, or to spare his figurines. Much to everyone's surprise, he throws them on the ground and breaks them. As Gakuto personally confesses to the breakout to his friends, Shingo becomes shocked at everyone's forgiveness. As punishment for Miko for not telling Mari the origin of the sword, which was in her bowl of peanuts, Mari gives Miko a uniform that is a size smaller. Exhausted from the strain, Chio takes Miko to the Mari's office, where she discovers the existence of DTO. As Chio eavesdrops from behind the door, Mari announces the final phase of DTO by taking advantage of Andre's masochistic urges. Exploiting Andre's slave diary, Miko leaves Andre without punishment for days. Meanwhile, Miko gives Shingo more free time outside, warning that his failure to return at 6:30 p.m. would result in a breakout. The other boys are assigned a job reinforcing the prison gate, crossing paths with Chio, who glances at Kiyoshi with a hidden message. Later, Miko's voice calls out punishment time to Andre, leading him to find his diary in the corrections office, which entices him to go outside. With Chio's message deciphered, Kiyoshi, Gakuto, and Joe head out to warn Andre, but he breaks through the fence and receives his punishment, only to be subdued by Hana for a prison break offense as Miko is outside of the prison boundaries. It is also revealed that Shingo's date with Anzu was only a way to stall for time. Nevertheless, Shingo arrives before 6:30 with the help of the laundryman, but fails to open the gate which the boys worked on earlier. With 3 breakouts in tow, the 5 of them meet the chairman to discuss their expulsion, which Chio attempts to intervene but fails to find physical evidence of DTO. With 2 weeks before their expulsion date, the boys formulate a plan to expose the USC's hidden agenda when Shingo mentions evidence of DTO being seen elsewhere. Shingo recalls that at the corrections office there was an email labeled DTO. However, Andre says that the USC may have planned ahead of time and deleted the email. Despite this, Gakuto notes that the email can still be recovered through a data restoration software. To take the cell keys to access the corrections office, the boys lure in Miko by staging an arm wrestling match and berating Miko into challenging them, in which she accepts. Gakuto manages to sneak into the corrections office, to which he needs at least 10 minutes to download the software and search for the email. Despite Kiyoshi, Shingo, and Joe's matches barely lasting a minute each, Andre manages to almost hold out the rest of the remaining time, losing the match 9 minutes in. Before Miko almost discovers her keys went missing, Gakuto picks them off the ground and hands them to Miko before she leaves. While the others praise Gakuto's timely return, he expresses his failure to retrieve the deleted email, only having downloaded the software. Facing imminent expulsion, Kiyoshi and the others reconcile with each other before heading off to sleep. Kiyoshi and the others have lost hope, except for a crazy Gakuto who makes nonsensical breakout plans. Miko gives the boys the request of choosing their last meal. Gakuto's fried grasshoppers and rice dish proves to be so disgusting that he breaks free of his irregular state and inspires him with a legitimate breakout plan after looking upon Kiyoshi's note from Chio. He discusses the plan with the others, but they say they are short on time to carry it out. After Miko hands them their withdrawal papers, Kiyoshi suggests to write an appeal to the chairman to have more time for Gakuto's plan. To her surprise, the chairman responds back to the appeal. It is revealed that the appeal Miko had ripped was a decoy, and that Kiyoshi used his knowledge of the chairman's buried explicit photos to persuade him to come. Meanwhile, as Miko tries to eavesdrop outside the prison, Hana goes berserk as the repressed memories of her and Kiyoshi under the hospital bed surface once again. Despite the chairman declaring the expulsion postponed, the boys only have a one-day reprieve. As the USC decides on their next move, Hana personally agrees to watch over the boys on their final day. Gakuto's plan to distract Miko falls apart when Hana arrives instead. Mari thought the boys were used with Miko's behavioral patterns and agreed to have Hana overseeing the boys. As Chio intercepts another Kiyoshi's message inside his lunch tray, she gets caught by Anzu, who wishes to help the boys out of expulsion. Later, Gakuto deliberately gets stabbed in the forehead with a fork by Joe to be bandaged by Hana in the corrections office. As Gakuto returns, Kiyoshi goes with Hana there, while Chio and Anzu are outside and Miko patrols the prison. Much to the boys' relief, Anzu was the one that was caught and not Chio, sacrificing herself so Chio can get inside. As Hana holds the door, she then kisses Kiyoshi, stating that stealing his first kiss away from Chio is her revenge against him. Chio waits at the back door of the corrections office where Kiyoshi and Hana's confrontation is taking place. She leaves the corrections office and Chio comes inside. As Kiyoshi returns to the prison, Hana allows Gakuto and Joe to use the bathroom before the five head off to bed. Suspicious, Mari and Miko proceed to patrol the prison before declaring it inescapable. The next day, Miko takes the boys to the chairman's office. Meanwhile, Gakuto runs inside the school, causing the schoolgirls to beat him up. As Kiyoshi declares that they themselves have won, Miko catches onto their ruse and grabs Joe disguised as Gakuto and Chio disguised under Joe's hood. Gakuto is thrown into the chairman's room by the students. Then the boys explained that Chio sneaked in from the back door of the corrections office where she met with Gakuto and Joe inside the bathroom, performing a three-way exchange with each other's clothes. Under disguise, Gakuto made his way to the corrections office, enduring his cut from the fork to have Joe disguised with the use of bandages. Gakuto hid himself outside while Mari and Miko were patrolling. When Miko expresses disbelief at how fast the DTO email would have been recovered, Gakuto tells her of the data restoration software being downloaded ahead of time during the arm wrestling match. As Gakuto passes the DTO's information hard drive to the chairman, Hana discovers Kiyoshi's manipulation and proceeds to punch him, only to punch Mari instead, who wholly confesses to the DTO plan. In a post-credits scene, while the boys seem content outside of their prison lives, the prison-clad USC make their way to the school prison. They are charged by the Above-Ground Student Council, ASC. News about their abusive incidents have been spread around the school. Unfortunately, a lot of this anime I couldn't put in videos because of the explicit scenes, as YouTube would ban them. So if you feel like it, it's better to watch the anime in full. Thanks for watching and subscribe to the channel and write on which next anime to do a retelling.